Hello, good afternoon. Today we are going to present our video presentation on our group assignment report, History and Philosophy of Science. My team in the group are these. These are the members of my team, and they are going to present in this presentation this content. Our content is the introduction of our presentation, as well as the history of science that I will go into cover. Then we will talk about the philosophy of science, the perspective, philosophy, scientific inquiry, and major philosophical perspectives. And then we will go the definition and the characteristics of science, and also we talk about difference of science and non-science. After that, we will cover examples of science and non-science, and at the end we will conclude our presentation. So let's go through. So in the introduction, so we are talking about history and philosophy of science. So what are the history and philosophy of science? This, they are exploring the development and nature of scientific knowledge. According to the Matthew 2014, he told us that the history and philosophy of science is a dedicated field committed to understanding the development and nature of scientific knowledge. In alignment of a study by Matthew, he said that both the historical context and the philosophical implication of scientific theories and practices. However, another study by Cleanser 2021, he said that during the Renaissance until the 19th century, the term philosophy primarily referred to what we now call science. So this study, it said that primarily philosophy was called what we now call science. However, in the historical period, a philosopher, who was a philosopher, is someone who explored a wide range of topics. What are the topics? And being a philosopher often means engaging in scientific investigation as well. These are the main what's called about history and philosophy of science. So now let's go through history of science. In the history of science, we can say that science has evolved over time by time. So we are focusing here. Let's go through the time in ancient civilians. So in the ancient civilians, scientific achievements are rigid according to the Nicola. So what are those achievements? Those achievements were Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and China. These early civilizations made significant contribution. What they made significant contribution to the field, like mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and engineering. These are all about science, and this was the ancient civilizations. However, let's go through the Middle Age as we now go through the ancient civilizations. Middle Age. The Middle Age exploring. Middle Age scientific progress in Europe was influenced by the preservation and the translation of ancient Greek and Romanian texts. Next slide. In the next slide, so what was that revolution? That revolution was modern period of transformed scientific ideas and led significant discoveries by scientists like Copernicus and Newton. So let's go through the 19th and 20th century. How was the history of science? It witnessed by groundbreaking concepts in physics, chemistry, biology, and medicine, reshaping our understanding of the natural world. Again, for instance, we can take an example of a study by Bardava 2013 stated that groundbreaking concepts such as Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, and the discovery of the DNA structured by James Watson, and Francis Crick reshaped our comprehension of the natural world. These are some of the examples of history of science in 19th and 20th century. At the end, the history of science remains a vibrant field today, exploring the social, cultural, and philosophical dimension of scientific progress. That's all about the history of science. Now I will give the mic to the next presenter who will present the philosophy of science. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Uwe Sonko, and today I'm presenting on philosophy of science and roles of philosophy in scientific inquiry and major philosophical perspectives. So first of all, I will start with the definition of what is philosophy of science. So philosophy of science is a branch of philosophy that explore the nature, method, and foundation of science. It addresses fundamental questions about the assumption, concept, and implementation of science and reasoning. So these are some of the important role of philosophy in scientific inquiries. So the first one is epistemology. So epistemology is a branch of philosophy that deals with the nature, scope, and limit of human knowledge. So the second role of philosophy is that methodology. So methodology refers to the systematic approach or set of principles that philosophers use to investigate and address philosophical questions. This is used by most of the philosophers in order to conduct their researches. So the other important role of philosophy is ontology. Ontology is a branch of philosophy that deals with the nature of being, existence, and reality. It seeks to understand the fundamental categories of existence and relationship between them.
Hello everyone, my name is Sulaiman Abdurrahman Ibrahim, and today I will be presenting for definition and characteristics of science and non-science, and also I will be able to demonstrate the difference between science and non-science. So to begin with, definition of science is a systematic and it is empirical exploration of the natural world throughout the observation, experimentation, and as well as rational or logical analysis. This is the definition of science, and also we have the key features that we can measure whether these things are science or non-science. So science, when we are talking about the science, it has a specific characteristics. We have also two characteristics of science, which is objectivity and variability. Okay, so to start with this one, objectivity, it aims to reduce the bias. For example, let's take an example of your friend. If your friend has invented something, it can also be a bias. But when it comes to science, if you invented something, it should be related, or it should be mentioned the person that has been invented this kind of product. And also we have variability. Variability is also reliability through the repeatable, observable, and also measurable. The thing is that you are going to classify whether this thing is science or non-science should also be observable and also measurable. So let's look at the difference between science and non-science. The major difference between science and non-science it goes through the approaches. It goes through the approaches or the measures that we can measure or we can observe the difference between. So those are the things is observation, because science it has observation. Science it has observation, and also we have testability, and also we have falsifiability. Non-science it is a belief or personal belief that everybody can dream. So that was the science and difference between them.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Salman Ahmed Muhammad, and I would like to proceed the modern science and Islamic some perspectives. Muslim scholars have explored the relationship between Islamic and modern science since the decline of traditional Islamic science. Some argue for the existence of science based on the Quran. So some science and some Islamic scholars they clarify the existence and the similarity between science and the Islamic Quran, while others reject this notion. emphasize the universality of science. However, more scholars now affirm the importance of Islamic science in the interaction between Islamic and modern science. Efforts are being made to establish graduate program in philosophy and history of Islamic science. And for example, Osman Bakr, an influential Islamic thinker, has contributed significant to this discourse. His works provide clarified on the importance of Islamic science and its background. The hope is to deepen understanding of traditional Islamic science within the Islamic intellectual tradition. And that's it all from me, and thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Saifuddin Ibrahim. Today my part is example of science. So starting with physics. So physics is an area of science that studies the fundamental principles that control the behavior of matters, energy, space, and time. It is sometimes called the fundamental science, since it seeks to discover the fundamental rules underlying nature, occurrence observable in the cosmos. So example for physics is atom machines is a visual part of modern physics, focusing on the tiny world of atoms and particles. And it developed in the early 19th century by scientists like Max Planck and Albert Einstein. It introduced concepts like wave, practical duality, and uncertainty. Next, please. We have here example of science. So the next one, it will be biology, and biology is a branch of science that deals with living organisms and their visual process. And the example of biology is the study of muscular genetics, which look at how genetics information and expressed in inherited as is one of the important areas of biology. One essential steps in the transfer of genetic materials from one generation to the next is we call it the DNA replication. So scientists like Watson and Crick solved the puzzle of DNA structures and discovered that is a double helix. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Mohamed Abdulrahman Ogle. I'm recording about my part of this assignment for history and philosophy. So right now I'm talking about the examples of non-science of the history. So the first one is economics. So economics is a branch of social science on how people, organizations, and governments and societies allocate to their resources to meet for their goals and requirements. So those goals, they can become the efficient things that some governments or organizations they are looking for. Like if they are looking for the market share, maybe they have to meet for their goals, and also if they are looking for economic sustainability, they have to come up with the requirements. So it investigates the process of producing, distributing, and also consuming commodities and services, as well as the underlying the system that regulate these activities. So it has examples like one example of this economic nonsense is equilibrium. So equilibrium usually it's the point where the quantity supply and equals to the quantity demanded. So, and it determines the market, clearance price. So, for example, if the price of a smartphone is initially higher, the quantity demanded maybe will be the low as the prices are decreased. So, and more consumers are willing to buy, and quantity demanded. So, and quantity demanded will be increasing. So there is a next point of non-science examples, and that's astrology. So the history and philosophy of non-science of astrology explores astrology's origins and the claims that the celestial bodies influence the human traits And it suggests that the specific planetary arrangement that at a birth shapes personality, which examples like Arterius individual exhibitions traits align with astrological predicts. So it has an example like natal astrology. So the natal astrology or a birth astrology analyzes celestial positions at an individual's path to create a personalized map called natal chart. So it examining the sun, also they examine the moon and also the planet relation to the zodiac astrologists. They drive insights into the personality, strength, weakness, and also the potential path, much like a DNA discovery. It also integrates the celestial configuration to the forecast life 10 dishes. So that's all for me.
Hi, my name is Bilal Sahak. I'm going to shortly summarize our report so you may better understand what our report is about. So firstly, we come to that what is history and philosophy of science. History and philosophy of science explores the development and nature of scientific knowledge, including the historical context and philosophical implication of scientific theories and practices. It examines the connections between science and society, considering cultural, economical, and institutional factors so they may shape the scientific progress. So as you see that the progress, scholars in this field use various research methods such as archival research and textual analysis to uncover the insights. The distinction between science and non-science relies on some factors which are observation, testability, natural phenomena, subjectivity, and falsibility. Examples like quantum mechanics and biology represent science, while equilibrium in economics and astrology represent non-scientific. This was our conclusion, and thank you.